my live feed starts. Here we go.
I'm Derek Lewis. This is my wife Brittany. This is my newborn daughter, I think. And we have some exciting news to announce for you today. I will be running for state representative of District 9 in 2018. District 90 is made up of Clay, Leslie, and parts of Laurel County. I'll be running on the Republican ticket. Now, I've had several people ask me, why do I want to run? I want to run because I care about this area and the communities that make it. I care about this community because I'm involved in different organizations. We're helping people thrive. So this is the next step for me in my life. So what I want to do? Well, first and foremost, I want jobs. And I want jobs here. I want opportunities here. I want kids, when they get off the bus with them, to have activities to go to, whether it be a sporting event, a community event, whatever. But I want it here. I want my daughter Athena, who we just met, to be able to grow up and then raise her family here. I want to combat the drug issue that this area faces, like so many other places in the nation. But not only do I want to combat the drug issue, I also want to give people that have drug abuse treatment options. And then also job programs. Get them back up on their feet. I want to change the healthcare system in Kentucky. I want it to be more about the patient and less about insurance mandates. Professional is something I see every day. It makes a shame. Lastly, I love this area. I love the community. I love the people in it. I love our values and traditions. And too often, to me, because of where we are located, because of who we are, what we value, our best interest is pushed to the side. And that's not all right. It shouldn't be all right. I will fight for this. I will fight for you. So in our campaign, will be coming up in the next few months. You might see me at a community event. But in the meantime, I need your help. We just started a campaign Facebook account. You can find it in the links below. It's going to detail throughout the coming months my plan of action, where I'll be at, what you can do to get involved. I also started a website, forkentucky.com. Check it out. Tell your friends. I need your help to share. Tell them why you're going to vote for me. Get my name out there. And let's change. I think we can make a difference. But all in all, I'm not a politician. I don't believe in empty rhetoric. I do believe in action. And action is what will take. And I'd like to humbly request your support and your vote. Thank you. God bless.
That is Derek Lewis, Republican from Kentucky, will be running for the 90th District State Representative. And I think as of now, his only opponent will be Tim Couch. And I really don't know a lot about this Derek Lewis. I like a lot of what he says in this video. I just heard about him announcing his candidacy last night. And I haven't really had a lot of time to, find out much about him. Let's click on his about here. Okay, he's got a website, www.lewisforkentucky.com. His biography: Derek Lewis, MBA, is a small business owner, business manager, entrepreneur, outdoorsman, family man, concerned citizen, and wants to be your next state representative. With a background in accounting and business, Derek runs a variety of businesses in eastern Kentucky, including a family-owned pharmacy, a commercial property company, a residential property company, a handyman service, and a seasonal sales company. In an economic climate downtrodden by the decline in the coal industry, Derek's businesses have thrived because of his strong emphasis and efficiency and tailoring his businesses to not only meet but exceed the expectations of the customer. The strong emphasis Derek places on customer service has been his guiding principle when it comes to his role as a public servant. Derek presides over the Hyden-Leslie County Chamber of Commerce, which he has organized community events, hosted job fairs, and displaced miners brought distinguished guests into the region and provided invaluable networking opportunities to its members. Derek serves on the Housing Development Alliance, which builds affordable homes and repairs existing houses at low rates. Derek sits on both the local and regional board of Appalachian Regional Hospital, helping to shape the health outcomes of patients in Appalachia. Additionally, Derek is a member of the Leslie County Community Foundation, an affiliate of Foundation for Appalachia, Kentucky, which builds a endowment fund with proceeds going back towards projects and causes in the community. Lastly, Derek has assisted Trails of Leslie County by building hiking and mountain bike trails and mapping out kayak canoe trips along the middle fork of the Kentucky River in an effort to increase tourism in the area. In addition to the boards he serves on, Derek has demonstrated his passion to help others through a multitude of ways. Derek started the Lewis Appalachian Scholarship in 2013 for students from the Eastern Kentucky region who plan on attending the University of Cumberland. As of 2017, the Lewis Appalachian Scholarship has accounted for $8,000 in scholarships for students from Eastern Kentucky who have plans to give back to their communities. In addition to his scholarships, Derek creates opportunities to give back through hometown pharmacy. Derek often raises diabetes awareness through offering free glucose meters to diabetic patients through the pharmacy. Derek often raises money for cancer patients, volunteer fire departments, and children with health conditions, while also supporting local school fundraising, sports teams, and Relay for Life. Derek received his degree from the University of the Cumberlands in Williamsburg, Kentucky, with a double major in accounting and communications. While attending Cumberland's, Derek was a member of the men's soccer team, active in the Student Government Association, and founding member and president of Sigma Beta Delta UC chapter, Business Owner Society. Derek graduated as a Hutton Scholar for exemplary community service and high distinction in accounting. Upon graduating, Derek worked in public accounting, auditing local banks and cities. Deciding to further his education, Derek went back to school and earned his master's in business administration from Western Kentucky University. Upon obtaining his MBA, Derek came back to Eastern Kentucky to help run his family's 25-year-old business. Derek currently resides in Laurel County with his wife Brittany, a high school English teacher. they have 2 dogs, Waylon and Diamond, and are expecting their first child, a little girl, on the 4th of July. I know who this is now, I think. And I'm liking a lot more of what I'm hearing about him. He seems like a pretty outgoing and highly spoken guy. He's done a lot for our community. A whole lot. And tell you what, he may just give old Tim Couch run for his money right there, buddy. But anyway, you can go over and check that out. That's his Facebook page right there, at Lewis for Kentucky, or check out lewisforkentucky.com. Get some local news right here from WYMT, and I won't let this play long. We'll move it right on along. Little puppy, huh?
Come on, buddy. And
I'm back. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Mayhem on Main Street. Good evening, I'm Cassidy Stricklet. Tonight, city officials worked fast to shut off water after a main line burst, flooding portions of Main and Liberty Street. Homes and businesses were evacuated. We talked to city leaders about what's happened and what's next. Thursday evening quickly went from quiet to crazy for some people in Hazard.
we almost got caught in it as it was coming off the hill.
A water line burst, flooding streets and prompting evacuations.
It takes the water up to the tank. That's a 2 million gallon tank. It's up on the hill there, but we've got the water shut off.
City officials estimate the water tank lost around 750,000 gallons of water.
We would encourage everyone to save water. We don't know what effect. We still have 31 feet in the tank right now as I'm speaking.
The rushing waters forced officials to get people out of their homes. One mother and her 1-year-old son were told they couldn't return home after a walk, leaving them with nowhere to go.
Police told me I was not allowed to even walk up to my house to get my son's diapers or his milk, anything that I needed. And I don't have his car seat, so I can't even ride in a vehicle to go anywhere, because his car seat's at home as well.
Officials say they asked those who live in the area to leave to keep them safe.
As soon as we can make it safe, we'll open it back up and let people get back to their houses and travel this road again.
The water was shut off in order to make repairs. We are told Liberty and Main Streets were shut down for a while, but they are now back open. In the fight for his life, 16-year-old James Couch was in an accident on the Mountain Parkway last night. Police say Couch crossed the center line and collided with a tractor trailer. Now he has several broken bones, including a broken jaw and rib cage. Those closest to Couch asked for the community to pray for their friend.
Just that he was a good guy, and I don't know how any of this came about at all, and he didn't deserve it.
Doctors say James Couch is in stable condition at the University of Kentucky Medical Center. They will continue to monitor his progress. Corbin police are asking for help finding a man they say stole a city vehicle. Surveillance video caught this man walking around the city garage. Police think he got into the heavily secured facility under a barbed wire fence. The public works director says the man got into a truck and fell asleep before the morning crew woke the man up around 4.
he could have made two decisions. One was to get in the truck and leave, and one was to walk out an open gate. So, and he did steal our truck, and it is city property, and I do think there should be consequences for it.
The truck was found Wednesday morning, parked at the Cumberland Gap Apartments, about 3 miles from the garage. The truck had no damage and nothing was stolen out of it. If you have any information, call Corbin Police at 606-528-1122. 2 West Virginia police officers are recovering tonight after a pursuit that led through 2 counties. We are told it started when the officers from the St. Albans Police Department tried to stop a stolen vehicle and the driver took off. Officers say the most shocking part about the chase was that there was a 5-year-old in the back seat not wearing a seatbelt.
We had a couple officers involved, went through some residential neighborhoods. The driver was acting pretty erratic. The majority of the officers here have kids of our own, so when we see kids playing in neighborhoods, it just, I believe, makes us extra vigilant to keep the public safe. We're trying to make as quick an end to this situation as we can.
The pursuit ran from Logan to Kanawha County. The driver stopped the vehicle in a dead end and fled on foot. The 2 officers were injured after chasing him down an embankment. Police say the driver will face a long list of charges. The family of a murdered Clay County man say they need help finding answers. Police say 68-year-old Larry Sizemore was found dead in his home in July of 2015. Since the crime, police have followed several leads to dead ends. The family has a reward prepared for any information leading to an arrest. In the meantime, they say they will continue to bring awareness to his murder.
Back-to-back 90-degree days here in the mountains. Some temperatures still remaining mild, and our lows for tonight, well, they'll be into the lower 70s. Here's the almanac for today. 90 degrees in Jackson, 73 for the low. How about these warm temperatures? The record was 91. We were 1 degree shy of that, but some locations hit the lower 90s. Louisville and Lexington and Kentucky, 88 in Moorhead. And then how about Middlesboro? Typically southern Kentucky is the warmer spot. They were actually in the average of the pack, 89 in Monticello as well. Now those temperatures right now, they are still mild, they are still muggy, and it is not a comfortable night at all. 78 degrees right now in Jackson, 72 in Wise, and the dew points, they are still in those lower to mid 70s. We'll see some patchy fog in some locations tonight. And then Cassidy, more rain on the way for tomorrow. Of course, many people asking, what about the weekend? We'll have those details coming up a little bit later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. 2 people are dead after a house explosion in Tennessee this evening. It happened on Old Whites Mill Road in Maryville around 5:30 this evening. The Blount County Sheriff's Office says the victims were adults but have not released any more information about their identities. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is sending an investigator to the site. No other homes were damaged. And tonight, officials with the Kentucky League of Cities addressed the Coal Run City Commission. A lawyer with the league spoke to the City Commission about how the proposed Kentucky power rate increases could burden the city. Officials say the proposed increases would hurt mountain cities by impacting outdoor lighting. They hope to gain support from cities to intervene in the rate increase.
And some of them have populations as small as 140 people. So the impact to the cities could be significant, especially over time. And once the rates are set, you can't go back and challenge them.
Officials say there are 27 mountain cities that are members of the league, and all would be hurt by the rate increases. They say this is the time to step up and make sure the city's voices are heard. Family and friends gathered today to honor the life of an Eastern Kentucky icon. Those who knew Jim Muggins Bennett remember him as a giving man and someone who always tried to make you laugh. His daughter says Muggins' heart was larger than him, and his loss creates a void that will be hard to fill by just one person.
He's got big shoes to fill. Whoever takes over the empty stocking fund, if it can be done, it's going to take 5 to 10 people to do the one-man job that he did for a lot of years.
Muggins was 77 and was laid to rest this afternoon at the Krager Cemetery in Partridge. We all have had that one teacher that has shaped our lives, who has been a mentor and a lifelong friend. And for many students in Pike County, Tommy Thompson is that teacher. But Thompson suffers from polycystic kidneys and is in need of a new one. He says many former students, as well as strangers, have tried to help. However, with type O blood, Thompson struggles to find a donor. While he waits, he cannot help but feel peace in his life.
He says he will never leave us, and that's how I put one foot in front of the other. And I know if I don't get one, I know where I'm going. You know?
Thompson says when he retired, students donated money to put him on a national donors list. If you are interested in getting tested to be a donor, you can contact Jewish Hospital in Louisville at 502-587-4990 or the University of Cincinnati at 513-584-7001. Kentucky, home to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, is expected to be hard hit by the proposed cuts in Medicaid in the new proposed health care plan. CBS's Omar Villafranca visited Coal Country earlier this week to get reaction.
This one is for my immune system.
Every day, Kathy Collins has to take 27 pills in her fight against the autoimmune disease, lupus. 50-year-old Collins lives in rural Kentucky with her sister Carol Maggard. Collins is on a fixed income and uses Medicaid to help pay her mounting health care bills.
What would your medical bills look like without Medicaid?
Last year they were $945,000.
Nothing that we've advocated so far would cause anybody currently on Medicaid to be taken off of Medicaid.
That was Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, trying to calm fears about the future of Medicaid. Under Obamacare, Kentucky expanded Medicaid and cut the uninsured rate from 14% to almost 6%. But right now, the bill calls for significant cuts in federal funding of state Medicaid programs. To make up for the loss, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin has proposed changing the state requirements to qualify for Medicaid, which could cause people to lose coverage.
The pharmacy.
At Louisville Shawnee Christian Healthcare Center, 70% of Dr. Brent Duncan's patients are on Medicaid.
Folks may have to decide between a doctor's visit and being able to put food on the table for their family.
Collins, a Republican who voted for both Senator McConnell and Governor Bevin, is now truly worried about losing her coverage.
I'm sure Mitch McConnell don't have to worry about his medical bills or Governor Bevin's, but real people have to.
Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Jenkins, Kentucky.
Senators will see a score on this bill from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office early next week. The first version of the bill showed 22 million more Americans would lose insurance coverage by 2026. An organization dedicated to helping minors has received a financial boost. The Appalachian Citizens Law Center has received a $10,000 grant from the Kentucky Bar Foundation. The ACLA will use the money to support minors with black lung disease. They help minors obtain legal representation and medical treatment, among other things. It was announced today that hundreds of people have been charged in a scheme involving opioids. Prosecutors charged more than 400 people for taking part in healthcare fraud. 4 of those cases have been brought in Kentucky. They involve the illegal distribution of opioids and other controlled substances, billing for unnecessary or unprovided treatments, as well as identity theft and money laundering. Coming up at 11, second chances. An Eastern Kentucky man changed his life, and now he helps others do the same.
President Trump arrives in Paris for a visit with France's president, but the investigation into possible Russian collusion follows him. I'm Mo. Scattered showers and storms look likely for your
bacon.
Yeah, just conclude y'all's ad. Well, I don't care, you know. In fact, I'm just gonna cut you
Child
all
care
out.
store oxygen.
I don't know.
gun enthusiasts. You don't want to miss this huge event on Saturday and Sunday at the
Now, let's get to the big national news, headline news, I guess you would say. I don't know. This comes from townandcountrymag.com. Here's what you need to know about Donald Trump's lawsuits. He's been sued more than 100 times since his inauguration. Let me get this to scroll. This was written by Caroline Howman on July the 12th of 2017. President Trump has been sued at least 135 times since taking office. The most recent lawsuit was filed by Twitter users blocked by the president. Many of the lawsuits pertaining to his presidency, with cases regarding emoluments clause, the travel ban, and his executive order threatening sanctuary cities. Others including a litigation over Trump University and a libel suit brought by a former contestant on The Apprentice, stemmed from Trump's behavior as a private citizen before taking office. Don't let anyone tell you the Trump administration isn't setting records. The president has been sued more than 100 times in federal court since his inauguration. This week, a group of Twitter users filed a lawsuit against the president after he blocked them on the social media platform. The legal complaint is just the recent in a dizzying array of lawsuits that have been brought against the president since he took office on June 20th, 2017. I clicked on something. You'll have to give me just a second. I apologize, folks. Okay, I'm done. While it's not uncommon for a president to accumulate some lawsuits over the course of his administration, what is happening now is unlike anything we've ever seen in recent history. According to the Boston Globe, by May 5th, President Trump has been sued a remarkable 134 times in federal court since his inauguration. To put things in perspective, Obama had acquired 26 suits against him at that point in his presidency. Per the Globe, George W. Bush 7. Quote, Trump is facing a different situation, unquote, conservative lawyer Jonathan Turley told the newspaper. Quote, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. Every group, every aggrieved person is filing lawsuit, end quote. It's every aggrieved person is indeed filing lawsuit, then the president can expect a good deal more. For now, 69 of those aforementioned 134 suits have already been thrown out, but that still leaves 65 pieces of litigation against the president. Here's a field guide to all the different ways Trump is being taken to court. Twitter. Throughout his presidency, Donald Trump has used his Twitter account as a way to, quote, bypass, unquote, traditional media, speak directly to his constituents. Now, several Twitter users who were blocked by the president's @real Donald Trump handle are suing. Represented by the Unite First Amendment Institute at Columbia University, the plaintiffs argue that Trump is infringing on their First Amendment rights by cutting them off from a public forum, his Twitter feed, due to his expressing opinions he does not lie. According to the New York Times, his plaintiffs claim that, quote, his account amounts to a public forum that he, as a government official, can't bar people from, unquote. Quote, the @Real Donald Trump account is a kind of digital town hall in which the president and his aides use the tweet function to communicate news and information to the public, and members of the public use the reply function to respond to the president and his aides and exchange views with one another. End quote, reads the lawsuit said, which was filed in federal court for the Southern District of New York. The Twitter users are also suing White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer and Dan Savino, who serves as Trump's director of social media. The Implements Clause. Within the Constitution, there is a relatively obscure mandate known as the Foreign Implements Clause. The provision which lies in Article 1 reads, no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatsoever from any king, prince, or foreign state. That's the end of that little piece. And then the article goes on to say, this is widely interpreted to mean that one cannot profit from his presidency. Prior to Trump's election, the emoluments clause rarely made waves, but given the president's stake in international businesses and his reluctance to completely divest himself of his assets, the clause has not only become a buzzworthy topic on cable news, but also the foundation of multiple lawsuits. In June, the Washington Post reported that 196 Democratic members of Congress plan to file a lawsuit against President Trump, alleging that by, quote, retaining interest in a global business empire, he has violated constitutional restrictions on taking gifts and benefits from foreign leaders, unquote. Right now, all of the plaintiffs in the legal action are Democrats, led by Richard Blumenthal in Senate and John Conyers Jr. in the House, but Republicans will reportedly be invited to join the complaint should they choose. Even if no Republicans join the lawsuit, it will still set a record for the most congressional plaintiffs in a legal action taken against the president. Hold on, we got my puppy. I'm sorry. She was crying. Remarkably, it's not the only unprecedented lawsuit against the president this week. According to the New York Times, the state of Maryland and Washington, D.C. filed a lawsuit Monday, quote, alleging that Trump's failure to shed his private businesses has undermined public trust and violated constitutional bans against self-dealing, unquote, and arguing that, quote, businesses owned by Mr. Trump divert customers away from the businesses the District of Columbia and Maryland either own, license, or tax, harming those governments financially. This is the first time in history that a state has sued the president over the annulments clause. Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or CREW, initially filed a lawsuit against Trump regarding the emoluments clause on January 23rd. In particular, they questioning Trump's organization hotels and whether foreign officials are opting to stay at Trump's properties in order to curry political favor. Following their initial filing, CREW crew, we'll call them, I guess, has sought out additional plaintiffs, including high-end hotelier Eric Good, the Union Restaurant Opportunity Center United, and event booker Jill Phaneuf. According to the Washington Times, Trump Organization lawyer Sherry Dillon, quote, has disputed that the emoluments clause applies to hotel rooms being rented by representatives of foreign governments, arguing that payments based on market rates for services do not represent an emolument, end quote. Dillon also said that the hotels would donate any profits that resulted from foreign leaders staying in the hotels to the Treasury. However, Lawrence H. Tribe, a Harvard Law School professor of congressional law and one of Crew's lawyers, said that Good's involvement in the case has ensured that it will be taken seriously. Quote, it makes it inconceivable that this lawsuit would be tossed out, end quote. He told the Times, quote, as a hotel and restaurant owner, Mr. Good will be harmed due to a loss of revenue by defendants' ongoing financial interest in business which receive payments from foreign states, the United States, or state or local government. Washington's Court Wine Bar has also filed a similar lawsuit against Trump. They claim to be losing business to Trump's D.C. hotel, and while they are not seeking damages, they would like for him to divest from the Trump Organization wallet or to close the hotel. In late March of 2017, U.S. District Judge Gonzalo Cruel approved a $25 million deal under which President Trump settled multiple lengthy lawsuits. While Trump did not admit to wrongdoing, he did agree to pay roughly 3,730 students of the now defunct Trump University who believed they were defrauded by the for-profit real estate seminar program and its misleading claims. While Trump has previously vowed never to settle, after the election he reportedly determined he didn't have time for a trial. Quote, the court finds that the amount offered in settlement is fair, adequate, and reasonable, and accordingly concludes to the factor weighs in favor of final approval. Quote, wrote Judge Cruel, it is possible that the cases could be appealed. end quote. On January 31st, San Francisco became the first city to file a lawsuit against the president. Their case took issue that his executive order targeting sanctuary cities, municipalities which have vowed to limit their cooperation with federal immigration policies, and his threat to withhold federal funding from them. In April of 2017, U.S. District Judge William Orr III blocked the administration from enforcing the executive order. He wrote, quote, "Federal funding that bears no meaningful relationship to immigration enforcement cannot be threatened by merely because a jurisdiction chooses an immigration enforcement strategy of which the president disapproves," end quote. The Muslim ban. Following each of Trump's executive orders on immigration, better known as travel bans, the president has faced a deluge of litigation from individuals, civil rights organizations such as the ACLU, and individual states. Both bans have been halted, at least for now. On Monday, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco upheld the injunction against the second iteration of the ban. The injunction was initially put in place by the federal district court that heard the state of Hawaii Ishlaha versus Donald Trump in his official capacity as President of the United States. Other appellants include John F. Kelly in his official capacity as Secretary of Homeland Security and Rex W. Tillerson in his official capacity as Secretary of State. Quote, "We conclude that the President is in issuing the executive order exceeded the scope of the authority delegated to him by Congress," end quote, reads the court's unanimous decision. Earlier this year, a court in the Fourth Circuit also upheld injunction against the travel ban. According to the New York Times, the administration is seeking to appeal that case to the Supreme Court. Back in February, the Ninth Circuit blocked Trump's original travel ban, which was also bolder in scope. Libel. Just days before the inauguration, former Apprentice contestant Summer Zerbos sued the then president-elect for defamation. Zerbos said that Trump kissed and groped her, claims which Trump publicly denied. He said the allegations were 100% fabricated and made-up charges. Totally false and totally made-up nonsense, end quote, which prompted Zerbos' lawyers to ask for an apology. When she didn't get it, she sued. Litigation is still pending. I guess that's the end of that article. At the bottom of it, it's got a link you can click on, all about Donald Trump's kids, and you can go on down and it's got a bunch of stuff that relates to politics in 2017. I haven't read a lot of articles on townandcountrymagazine.com, but pretty good publication if you ask me. I mean, not bad, I don't think. Folks, if you're not following me on Twitter, I wish that you would. Just look up at Real Big Al Morgan, or go to twitter.com/Real Big Al Morgan. Follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Big Al Morgan. Subscribe to my channel. I've only got like, I think 8 subscribers right now. Got a little over 300 views. I'm working my butt off trying to get to 10,000 views so I can become monetized. Listen, folks, I need to fund this broadcast in some way. If you could, there's lots of ways that you can help the show. I mean, if you can't help me money-wise, that's totally understandable. But I was telling y'all on a show the other day, there's this app that I've been using in order to get like audio and video equipment. It's called Dice, one word. Just go to your mobile app store and download it. Use your Facebook information to sign up, and then use promo code 182090. I'll get 30 rolls for referring you, and you'll get 50 rolls. And then you can earn free stuff too. Well, just check out this microphone stand that I got the other day. Snaps right on my desk. Had a pop filter, as handy as it can be. I got a whole box of other stuff in the closet there, which I use all the time. I got this camera right here sitting on a tripod that I got from there. All you gotta do is like just watch short videos every couple of hours. They just last like 20-30 seconds, and you earn rolls. And then like refer your friends, your family. You take surveys from time to time when they're available. It's just a really neat app, and you can get pretty much anything that's on Amazon for free. Free shipping. It doesn't cost you $1, and you will be helping me. Again, go to your mobile app store, download the Dice app, use your Facebook account to sign up, then use my promo code 180. No, I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. 182090. That's 182090. Phone lines are open if you want to call me anytime. Don't worry about, disrupting me or anything like that. I really don't care. If I'm sitting here reading, I will stop and answer your phone calls. I would love to hear from you, my listeners. My number, 276-524-0047. My emails, the Alex Morgan, or not the, I get so tongue-tied sometimes, I'm sorry. The Alex Morgan Show @gmail.com. You can also email me, bigalmorgan@live.com, or alexmorgan9183@gmail.com. This article's from The Hill. Obama lawyers team up to fight Trump. Written by Mark Hensich, 2/23/17. Top lawyers from former President Obama's administration are launching a group aimed at keeping President Trump from breaking ethics rules. United to Protect Democracy has already built a $1.5 million operating budget and hired 5 staffers, a number it expects to double soon. Politico reported Thursday. Quote, when people hear concerns about democracies declining into authoritarianism, they expect that moment to come in a singular thunderclap where everyone can see that this is the time, end quote, said Ian Basin, the organization's leader. Quote, in reality, oftentimes democracies decline over a period of years that happens through a series of much smaller steps. We need an organization that is specifically and holistically focused on the worst case scenario, end quote. The group is incorporated both as a 501c3 and a 501c4, meaning it can operate as a non-profit while also engaging in limited political advocacy. United to Protect Democracy will focus on issues such as Trump administration officials potentially interfering in regulatory agencies or intimidating staff. The organization has already submitted 50 Freedom of Information Act requests regarding ethics in the Trump administration. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer responded to the group's formation by waving off any potential ethics concerns. Quote, this administration has raised the levels of ethics training and oversight to the new level compared to the practices of the previous administration, end quote, he told Politico. That must be the end of that one. I thought that article was a bit longer. I guess so. Just want to do a little something here. A quick like. Somewhere sharing my stuff. Again, folks, if y'all see any of my links on my Twitter, on my Facebook, please share them. Share them with your friends. Share them with whoever you can. It really means the world to me that my stuff be shared and stuff. Let me let this puppy out. She's wanting in here. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. This article, in just a second here, I'll find it. It's from the newamerican.com. FEC's Federal Elections Committee proposes probe to investigate right-wing alternative media outlets. Written by Raven Klabal. Wednesday, 12th of July, 2017. A Democratic-led FEC, quote, inquisition, unquote, into foreign financial influences on U.S. elections has some fearing that conservative alternative media outlets may be in danger at a time when dispersed of the mainstream media has led many Americans to rely on alternative media outlets for their news. The Washington Examiner reports that a bid by Democrat Federal Elections Commissioner Ellen Weintraub, I can't say her damn name, may target right-leaning outlets such as the Drudge Report, InfoWars, and Breitbart under the pretense of probating for foreign influences in federal and state elections through paid advertising. Weintraub claims that illegal foreign influence could have played a role in the 2016 federal election and that it is necessary for the FEC to investigate campaign spending into media buys by overseas sources and partially foreign-owned U.S. firms. She asserted, quote, I believe that this commission can indeed rise to the challenge of understanding what happened in the 2016 election and plugging any legal or procedural holes that could allow foreign actors to interfere with our future elections, unquote. According to Politico, Weintraub was also motivated to launch the probe after Time magazine cited intelligence officials who claimed that Russian agents purchased Facebook ads to distribute election-themed stories, and that Breitbart News and Cambridge Analytica may have assisted Russian efforts to spread such content. Time magazine also reported that the FBI was investigating whether right-wing sites such as Breitbart and InfoWars coordinated with Russia to bombard social media sites with anti-Hillary Clinton stories. The Washington Examiner's Paul Bedford contends that the probe should raise red flags as it seems to politically to be politically motivated. The outlets, sites, and elections law expert, also a critic of the Weintraub bid, who observed, quote, "It's pretty easy to see how this quickly becomes an inquisition into conservative media outlets." He continued, "Commissioner Weintraub appears to be laying the groundwork to subpoena people at Breitbart, Drudge, and InfoWars, maybe even Matt Drudge and Alex Jones themselves," unquote. Critics of the FEC probe content that the ultimate goal is to target the mainstream media's competition and to provide a convenient excuse for Hillary Clinton's devastating election loss. But despite claims of Russian interference in the election, many experts contend the Democrats lost in November because the Democratic Party's globalist platform is out of touch with the Rust Belt working class Americans. Quote, "We're going to be a regional party that fails to get into the majority and fails to do things on behalf of those working class people that were the backbone of the Democratic Party for so long," end quote, warned Representative Tom Ryan, Democrat from Ohio, following the presidential election. Quote, "White, black, brown, gay, straight, everybody wants economic opportunity, and they don't see the Democrats as the party providing that, and we better get our stuff together," unquote. But Weintraub is seemingly unwilling to accept that explanation. She wrote in her proposal, quote, "The mere allegation that foreign interference may have occurred shakes the faith of Americans in our democracy. The FEC must find out the facts of what happened during the 2016 U.S. presidential elections and move swiftly and firmly to fix any problems we find," unquote. What Weintraub is proposing amounts to a rather significant federal power grab that goes far beyond the scope of the FEC's powers. That is not the first time she has proposed politically motivated probes either. She previously recommended that the FEC focus on politically active U.S. corporations with foreign ownership. Last year, she proposed prohibiting countries with foreign ownership as small as 5%, quote, from funding expenditures, independent expenditures, or electioneering communications. Quote, the Washington Examiner reported at the time of the proposal would have affected the mainstream media's outlets such as Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and even the New York Times, unquote. She went on to say, quote, "Given everything we have learned this year, it blinds reality to suggest that there is no risk of foreign nationals taking advantage of current loopholes in the intercede invisibility in American elections. This is a risk no member of the Federal Elections Commission should be willing to tolerate," unquote. Unfortunately, that desire to keep foreign influences out of American elections does not seem to translate into efforts ensuring that non-citizens do not vote in American elections. In fact, absurdly, Weintraub claims there is no voter fraud. Meanwhile, despite Weintraub's concerns about foreign financial influences, Freedom of Information Act requests revealed that 3 Democratic FEC members, including Weintraub, had been taking at least 50 official trips to foreign countries paid for by foreign groups, governments, and U.S. taxpayers. In fact, records released by the Office of Governmental Ethics and the FEC and published by The Hill show that Weintraub engaged in more sponsored trips than any other of her colleagues. The purposes of the trips have ranged from attending the political conferences to observing foreign elections. The records revealed that none of the FEC's 3 Republican commissioners took an agency-related international trip while serving on the commission. The Daily Caller writes that while proponents of, quote, international jet setting by the FEC commissioners, unquote, claim they are fulfilling their civic duties around the globe, critics note that this is, quote, inappropriate for regulators to accept overseas funding for such trips, especially with foreign influence over the American government under deep scrutiny, unquote. Folks, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you what I think about this stuff. You got all these government officials who are fighting for the dinosaur, dead, extinct mainstream media. You got CNN, you got MSNBC, you got NBC. All dead, okay? And they dug their own grave. They made their own daggone bed, let them lay in it. They want to talk about Trump and his business affairs, like his politics are gonna influence him generating more profits, but meanwhile you got people like Weintraub, a total hypocrite who does no wrong, lives that double standard life, doing what they want to do when they want to do it. And us, as the taxpayers, as the citizens, are supposed to sit back and watch this and just accept it like it's just, you know, something that goes on every day. They might as well face reality, man. They lost an election. Get over it, man. I mean, really, get over it. All I know is do better next time. Hey, 2018's coming up, and I heard that Hillary Clinton's coming back to represent or head up the DNC during that election period. Hello? You're speaking to him? I'm alright, you? Yeah. Okay. ALEXMORGAN. Yes. This year. No, just high school. Yeah. They're full of it. I'm sorry. Too. I thought, folks, I'm desperate for a job. I've been looking for about 10 or 15 different places to call me any day, and I thought that may have been one of them. It wouldn't. That's one of them old places that calls me all the time, want me to. They act like they're going to give you employment and all this, but what they really want, they want to set you up where you can go to like one of their schools, and I guess they make money off of it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're not interested, okay? When I get ready to go back to school, I'm going to a school of my choice, not a school of somebody else's choice. But I digress. I've actually got today's Friday. I got a doctor's appointment. I think I'm gonna have to cut it short and go ahead and start getting ready. It's 15 after 11, but I will be back on later. I won't be gone for too long. I promise to return. I've got a lot coming up tonight, this evening. I want to read the email that Mitch McConnell sent me, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I keep so much on my mind, I can't even remember to read it to y'all, man. I stay busy, believe it or not. I am a busy guy, okay? And I apologize that I'm not going to be around for much longer. Like I said, I will be back later on tonight or this evening. Just follow me on social media, and I will keep you updated on my next broadcast time, I guess. I really do appreciate everybody who tuned in.
You have been listening to The Alex Morgan Show on Freedom Internet Radio. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the show. Greater than please SUBSCBICE to my YouTube channel. Please share the links.
And I will be leaving you with a good song. Of course, I I will be back later. Don't you fret. Don't you worry. I've got plenty more news coming up. Just hang in there. PGIF, enjoy your Friday. Not every day is a Friday, and I had a rough Friday last week. I'm gonna hope for a good one this week. But I love y'all. I'll see y'all later on. Peace.